The Backyard Conversations Podcast.
What's up, fam? Welcome back. We are BYC, Backyard Conversation. We like to focus on topics that are related to today's youth, today's culture. So sometimes it can get a little spicy. But welcome back. Thank you so much for being with us. We got JG and
Hello.
Kevin. And yeah, man, we got something. We're going to talk about something unpopular, but I think that it's becoming popular. Maybe. I don't know. I hope that it does, because I think society needs it. And I think that it plays a big role on the health of the country. But anyways, we're going to be talking about marriage, the first year. What would you tell somebody that's about to get married? What is the first year like?
You don't know. Say no.
I was gonna say run, but no.
Run?
Run?
No. I mean, we wanted to talk about it because me and Kevin are young marriages. Jerry's had a few years in the game already.
Yeah.
How long are you going?
I'm 7, bro. It's not that much.
I mean, that's a
still got
good
long
amount.
way
That's,
to go.
7 is good.
Hey, I beat 5, so usually like 5. Like if you pass 5, like you're in good shape. Like you beat the first wave, I guess, if you want to.
5 years is the first wave.
5 years is
That's
the
a long
first
time.
wave. Yeah.
That's the first wave, guys. Get ready.
So
Anyways,
if you last 5 years, you got hope. So yeah.
okay. Well, you made it past. I'm not there yet. I'm at almost 3. Kevin's at almost 1. So if anything, he's the most.
November.
He's the most.
He's the fresh.
He's the freshest one. He's
Fresh
gonna
out
be able
there.
to give you
And
like
we know he's
the freshest
we know.
opinion.
And we know he on the first year.
Yeah.
It's a yeah.
See all the signs. But
But
yeah.
what is 3 things you would tell yourself? Like if you could go back in time, let's say, right? Or anybody else. What is 3 things that, at least give me 2 or 3 things that you would tell somebody?
I don't know, man. I feel like for myself, I don't know if it would. That's the thing, is like, I feel like I saw this stuff coming, but it's like you can't really. I don't know. Sometimes it's just hard, you know. It's just some aspects of marriage are just hard, and like they take time, and it's not like you can prep for the long journey. It's like you just gonna have to take it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the first thing that came to mind for me was like finding a balance between like. I feel like I got to be careful what I say, because somebody's gonna get mad at me when I get home. But it was like finding a balance, not for myself per se, but finding a balance with both of us, me and my wife, like but like spending time with extended family,
Gotcha.
right? And recognizing, I know this is a big one for you, recognizing that our family now is just me and her.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and recognizing, shifting to the new state of, oh, that's extended family. The priority is us, and sometimes if we can't go every week or every weekend, it's okay.
Right.
And like, I don't know, like that was a big thing for me.
The pressure. Yeah. The pressure.
And not so much from like my parents were very understanding. I don't want to put the spotlight on anybody, but like my wife had a hard time adjusting to not being with her family
for sure. Yeah.
so often, and you know, sometimes I just want to, like, I don't want to be there all the time, you know.
Right, you want to build memories for yourself and for your marriage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to spend time with her, and sometimes on a weekend I don't want to be in, you know, my mother-in-law's house for 5 hours. Not that I don't like them or anything, I have a bad relationship. It's just like I want to do other stuff, you know, and like I don't have to see them every week the same way I don't see my parents every week or twice a week or however often. I don't know. For me, the first thing that came to mind was that, like, just finding a balance between you guys and the extended family, like the time you spend. For me, that was like a hurdle that I had to weather through.
It's a step. Yeah, it's a step you gotta make. Assuming that you made the right decisions and that you did your due diligence to find a person that is the same yoke, and I guess you are in the same mindset, you believe in the same things, and you are striving, you have a goal, right? You believe in God and stuff. Assuming that that's being done and that you did your homework, per se, that you found the one that tracked the most essential list that you have or whatever, and you are getting ready for the first step. Yeah, I think it's something that you gotta work through to understand that you become your own family. And I mean, you got one. I can share one real quick, and we can take turns.
Hold up, I'm gonna head off because I know none of them watch this. I don't even care anymore. Just like, not even just the
My
time,
boy's about
bro.
to vent.
Just like drawing boundaries and like dealing with family. Honestly, just dealing with the extended family, like realizing you can't always please them. You know, you can't always do everything the way that they want to. You know, the way that your mother-in-law or your sister-in-law wants you, or that your own parents want to have you guys do things. You just can't always please them. And at the end of the day, it's you and her, or you and him, right? Not all of them. It's just you guys. It's your life. It's your desires, your goals, your marriage. You don't have to worry about what the other people say. If they say, oh, you don't spend enough time with us, or, oh, why aren't you doing this or that or whatever. Just move along, man. Just move past it. I would say just don't try not to hang around that too long. I think it's a little inevitable, but
Right, the detachment that happens.
yeah.
Word.
It's
They will cause you a lot of stress.
It's a
I'm just
detachment. No, for sure.
I'm gonna
For
rip the
sure.
Band-Aid off. They're gonna be a pain in the butt. I'm just saying.
For sure. But I think it can be cultural too. Depends on the background and the culture of the person. Because I've seen people that have gotten married and don't have that issue, but they are not from Central America or or Latinos. But yeah, like, cause Latinos like we like in our culture, like, family's huge.
Mhm.
Like that's not the same in.
When you gonna send the money?
Yeah. How do I explain this? Like, the bond that you have with your family, it's a lot different, cultural, than, I guess, other people. If you want to say, I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't know, don't worry about it. Okay. But yeah,
Thank God.
Huh?
I said thank God if you don't.
Thank God, yeah. But yeah, that was definitely a challenge for me. I'm not even going front and gonna sit here and not pretend that was a challenge. The other thing is that, like, if you have siblings and stuff like that, like, they start growing as well, and they start, creating their own family as well. And things can get, like, a little messy, planning events and all of that. That can be a headache.
Mhm.
Because,
Holidays, forget it.
yeah,
They ain't not gonna be fun no more, bro.
you gotta go here, you gotta go there, you gotta go there, and you, like, if you put yourself in that boat where you gotta please everybody, like, you're gonna be right driving around the whole time, and you're not even gonna sit down and relax. It can get challenging, bro. It can get pretty challenging. One thing that I would say, and it's related to the same thing, my first year, it was a shocker because cultural clash happened in my apartment. So first year I moved in, and I moved into an apartment, and it was two cultures fighting against each other. It was two ways of living fighting against each other. At least that's what it felt like. But in reality, it was just a combination. We were trying to figure each other out. We were trying to, I guess, it's different when you live with somebody. So everything just, you see everything. There's no, like, filter. Like, there's no filter. Like,
They take the claws out.
Yeah.
they you get to see a side of them that you probably never seen. That's assuming that you didn't live together before marriage.
Some of you on fornication.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, I didn't cohabitate until I got married. So.
Yeah, same. But I knew her for like 5 years. So I knew her since high school. But the 5 years wasn't enough. It's not the same as living with them. It's just not.
Basically, what he's saying is that he thought he knew, but he didn't know.
But I didn't know. And I still don't know. I'm still learning. And then even when I think I learned, she reminds me that I don't know. So I'm like,
And guess
okay.
what? You probably never know.
And I never will never know. It's like you never know. But in my case, my advice is you gotta set your own goals and your own persona, what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, and have that set before marriage. Because if you get married and you don't know what you want to do in life, or you get married and you don't have a job, if you get married and you're jumping from job to job, or you get married
Oh, say that again. What? Jumping from job to job.
job
Some
to
of you
job.
can't even
can't
hold a
hold-
job, and you
want-
thinking about marriage.
exactly, you can't hold a job, you can't hold a marriage. Like, if
Hey,
you
yo.
if you're not established, if you're not self-established as a person trying to get into marriage, it's gonna be hard. Because if you're not self-established and then you have somebody else that's still not self-established, or they try to come into your to live with you, live in your home, and they're trying to establish home, and you're not ready to establish because you're not an established person. So much establishment not being done. I'm sorry, but that was a lot of establishments.
No,
But no, I just can't, like, the feel of knowing that time is going, time is running. I'm 25 years old, bro, and I'm scared because I'm like 30's around the corner, man. Like
I know that feeling.
like time is flying, time is going by, and just the feeling of not getting things done or not seeing what I want to see get done in the time that I want it it frustrates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not married, and I told this nephew of mine yesterday, he's 21 and he lives at home with his mom and dad, and he's like, I work a regular 9 to 5, I go to school and I go to the gym, and I'm like, good. You have your set schedule, you have your set goal, you're going to study, and then you know what you're going to pursue, and in the meantime you're sticking to that schedule, and that's good. Because the day of tomorrow, when you get a girlfriend and you decide to get married, you don't have to worry about, man, I didn't go to school, man, I don't know what career I want to take, man, I don't got no money, man, I'm still not fit, man. Like, you're doing this stuff now so that later in marriage you can worry about the things that happen in marriage, like getting to know your wife, hanging out with your wife, having intimacy, establishing the home. A house can be a house, but not every house is a home. A home is different. A home you create with your spouse.
Your wife.
So you can worry about that when you get married and all that. So my thing is, establish yourself before marriage, not while you're married. You need to be established. I'm not saying you gotta have it 100% down, but you at least gotta know who you are when you get married.
Yeah. Some people wait way too long, but yeah, that's good. I'll tag along too, and I'll say my second one would be learn. I guess for the guys, right? I mean, we're all men, so I guess this is from the men's perspective. But for the guys, learn what it is to be the head of the household. Like, actually what that means. Like, learn what that means. Learn what it is to lead. It's not like, oh, I work and I come home and you better make me a sandwich, woman. It's not. It's not just telling your wife what to do and that she has to submit to you. It's not. It's more like you have the vision. You take the lead and you guide your family. It's not just working and working and working. It's so more than that, right? Learn what that is. Learn what it is to be the man of the household, the head of the household, and learn what it means for for your wife to have to submit, right? It's not just literally like bow down, and some old school people have that mentality.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly. The man belongs to the woman just as the woman belongs to the man.
Yeah.
Right. Read Paul.
It's written.
It's
Submit,
written.
wife, submit, and then if you keep reading,
Husbands.
if you keep reading and don't stop,
Uh-huh.
there's miraculous things that happens when you read what happens before a verse and after a verse. But anyways,
No, that's
yeah,
mine.
it says
much.
both. It says
Mhm.
submit for the wife, and then later on it says husband submit.
So I would say that. Learn what that means.
Yeah, they play a different role, right? Yeah, so there's different roles involved in it. It's not, I guess, you can't work a relationship without knowing your role. What is functional in your nature and what is functional in the nature of the woman. And I feel like culture nowadays has disrupted that, because now we live in a culture where it's kind of selfish. Well, it is selfish, not kind of selfish. And they always want to prove things. So sometimes, like, I've seen this issue where one side tends to be more defensive than the other one when it comes to like that, their roles, or they have different perspective. but time will tell, right? Whether or not you're doing the right thing, or or you're stepping out of your role, or you're stepping out of your divine design that God has given us. But the one thing that I would say too, if like I wish I knew kind of thing, would be come to marriage not expecting to be served, but to serve.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a tough one.
It is, because
when you apply it to all aspects.
no, yeah, exactly.
Like-
Because 99.9% of the men that get married, they have been exposed to certain things that they have a kind of like a perspective of what they think certain things are gonna be like when they get married. When you come to find out, the woman is built different. And this whole time you've been believing in a fantasy, and you've been believing something that's completely unreal, and it's not nearly close to the actual real thing. So you come with an attitude of demanding, like, oh, like, and it's not like that. It's, you gotta serve. The woman, sometimes they express love differently. And you got to find that out. Like, some people, they don't know that there's different kind of love languages, if you want to call them love languages. Like, I know for a fact, like, I can tell my wife I love you, and it's going to sound, I don't know. I can tell my wife I love you by simply, like, helping her clean the kitchen. Things that at first, like, in my first year of marriage, like, it was hard, bro, because it's like, man, I'll do it later. I don't got time for that right now. And, like, and we will get into it because it's like, why not do it now? And I'm just like, it's not important. Like, for me, it's really not important. Like, it's not something that I deem that is a top priority on the list of my day, where I wake up and be like, yo, I got to make sure the kitchen is clean, or yo, I got to put the clothes in the laundry. But I've noticed the difference when I do and when I don't. I know the difference when I go out of my way. And this is what I mean by serving, like, to serve, like to put your wife in
treat your wife
first.
as Christ loved the church.
Yeah. And
Love
then
your
you'll
wife the way like Christ loved the church.
and then you'll see, and not expecting anything in return, because sometimes you won't. To be honest, sometimes you won't. But you gotta set the example. Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. You mean most?
JG most of the time.
It's like, no.
Zane.
I'm joking.
No,
But
but
for my wife.
yo, this man's about to disappear for a whole month. They're gonna find him in some random basement.
Next episode,
Chained up.
me and Jerry got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe we can put some makeup on. Nah, but that's legitimate, man. A lot of people, like, they get married with the attitude of, it's all about me, it's all about receiving, it's all about what I can get. And you should have the different perspective. You should sit down and really like think about, how can I be edifying to this person? How can I push their ministry? How can I push their career? How can I push them as a person without breaking them? And sometimes, to be honest, you will break them, because I've had those situations where we had to sit down and be like, why are you not doing it? I know you can do it. You know you can do it. Everybody else knows that you can do it. Excuses come, but with knowing the role of manhood of the husband, you'll understand these things, and you'll take initiative to bless your wife in many different ways, and not just sit around and just sit to be served.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
Yeah. What's a fresh take from the almost 1 year?
I got a lot.
anniversary?
I can say a lot, man. I can say a lot, and my wife watches this. I don't mind.
Man,
It doesn't bother me.
She'll never coming back. If
She'll talk to me about it, and maybe she'll smile, but then at the end of the day, she's still there, and she'll be like, you know what? Maybe I'm just going a little crazy. That's her favorite phrase. Maybe I'm just going a little crazy, and I'm like, yeah, maybe you are, but it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's just it's just patience. But thankfully, and it's not to boast, but thankfully, in my life, God has taught me how to be patient in a lot of areas. Just how to be patient with people.
We know.
Patience with people, patience with things, patience
seen
with how
it.
things are going. Just patience.
You're a lion, bro.
Yeah, I'm a lion. I'm a lion that doesn't fluctuate.
You know.
It stays the same. And it's thanks to the Lord. The Lord taught me that in different ways.
He better than a non-stick pan, bro. Nothing sticks to him.
No.
Everything just rubs off.
Clean. There's always butter. There's always butter here. Always straight. But that's huge. Patience is huge, because just like you are a work in progress, your spouse, your husband or your wife, they're a work in progress too. And you got to give them the space to also adjust to this new environment. You like, as much as I knew her for so many years, like, I wasn't there 100% at her home. I don't know what the relationship was like there at home. I can only assume by the things that she told me or the things that I heard, but that's about it. But I was never there at home with her parents, so I never knew how they treated her. And then the way that when she came to live with me, and then I began to really see the relationship with her and her parents and her family, and then the relationship I have with my family, I'm like, this is so different. It was so much easier for her to like move over with me and set the boundary and say, okay, I'm gonna call my mom on certain days. I'll visit my parents on certain days, and it's never hours, like you said. It's like 30 minutes or something. It's just to say hello. And I walk in, I also say hello. And then, but my thing was that for my parents, it was different. For my family, it was different. For my parents, it was more of like, if my dad needed anything, and even if it was so simple, like, can you like pay this bill? He would call me. He would be like, can you pay this bill? And then what I had to do was, in order for him to learn how to let go and know that, you know, now I'm living with my wife and I have my home now, I had to teach him how to do these things by himself. Like, here, go ahead. Like, this is how I did it, and this is how you could do it. I started teaching him, and then one day I actually let him know. I'm like, hey, you got to know, I can't be here all the time. You know, I can't always pick up the phone. I can't always teach you how to do things. You kind of got to learn how to do it yourself too, especially now with technology. It was like everything is almost in any language, and you can find it in English and in Spanish. So I had to teach him, like, look, you just got to read what it says and then follow directions. And my wife was heavy with that, because she's like, because we live like 35 minutes away. You can't be going there all the time. We have stuff to do. And
Bro, I'm like 50 minutes away right now.
But at the same time, I was taught in school, in Sunday school, to honor your parents, right? That was heavy on me, always in school, and I mean in Sunday school and in regular services. They always emphasize, don't forget about your parents. Don't forget about your parents. Honor your parents. Obey your parents. When you get married, youth, honor your parents. Honor your parents. Honor your parents. So the idea,
they forgot to read the rest of the scripture.
Right? Yeah, but the idea of me honoring,
honor your parents, you'll live a long life or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The idea of me wanting to honor my parents was taking over what our reality was doing. Like, it was going a little too far. So my honor of my parents was my time, paying attention, being there, always talking, almost as if I never lived there. The only difference is that my stuff wasn't in the house no more. So there was one time that when I was trying to find out what to do, you know, like, how do I honor them, or how do I like still respect them and love them and be there for them and not like physically be there all the time. Somebody told me, well, way in the beginning, before the Bible ever says honor your parents, it says, therefore the man will leave his parents and be unified with his wife, and they will both be one flesh. Yeah. So they kind of recalibrated my mindset right there, and they said, understand that now it's God, you and your wife, because you guys are now one flesh, your family when you have kids in your home, and then your parents. That should be the line. So from that day and on, there's been times where if my parents have needed help and I'm like, look, I can't, but I'll be there, you know, whenever I can. I'll be there later, or let's set a date and then I'll be there, and we can combine all the stuff that you need help with. We'll do it all at once. And that's the way I honor them. Just, you know, I'm still there. I still talk to them. I still text them. But my focus most of the time, of course, now it's continuing to serve in church, working in church, working in the home, my wife, and bettering our relationship, and that's it. But for everybody out there, you got to learn how to do this before you get married. Don't be like me, that I waited till way after to learn this lesson. So now recalibrate your mind. Once you get married, your priority should be there in your home. You and your wife, you guys are one flesh. That's the relationship that you should be putting a lot of time into.
Yeah, you gotta let go. And that's hard. That's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I have similar situation, but you gotta set some boundaries. You mentioned something very important that I do want to highlight. That actually I had asked the question to my wife not too long ago before coming here. And I was like, hey, what would you tell yourself if you met yourself the first year of marriage? And she actually said, talk about your family, talk about your past. Make sure you get to talk about those things that could potentially be influence you. And that's huge. When I tell you that's huge, because most of the time we don't understand that the past is influencing your present. If you're not aware of it, if you haven't healed, if you had some sort of trauma in the past, if you had certain situations that marked you as a person, if you had some, bad relationships with your parents and so on, or with other people that were close to you, all of that, it's part of you, and it will influence your relationship if you do not become aware of it. And it's painful, because it is going back to revisit and say, hey, could this situation still be influenced? In my case, it was, man. A lot of the things, the way I was acting was things that I learned from my parents, and they weren't necessarily good. Like, I give you one. One of them was I used to deal with problems using sarcasm a lot. And instead of talking about the problem, I would use sarcasm. And the problem would never get resolved, and it will continue and it will continue. So I would never express how I actually felt. And I would hide it between jokes and between indirect comments. And I learned that from my parents. From living with my parents as a teenager. And then when I got married, I was like, wait a minute. I finally cut it, and I was like, oh man, there's no way. And there's a commercial, actually I was laughing. There's a commercial, I think it's an insurance commercial about young guys, or young women and guys, and they literally start young, and then as time goes by, they start talking and sounding like their parents. And like they start calling insurances, and the guy's like, don't do that, like we got you. Yeah. Something in that line, that commercial, that made me laugh, because it's true.
Yeah, those are funny.
Yeah, it's true, but it's true. Like, you learn from them, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like they did their best, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take everything and apply it to your marriage. Your marriage is your marriage, and you're married to a completely different person. Mm-hmm. I mean, take what is good, but filter out, what is not working out. So that's huge. Just revisiting your past, knowing that what has affected you. Have you healed from that, or are you still doing shenanigans based on your past? Are you still insecure based on your past? Are you still?
I say ask yourself.
Ask yourself. Why?
Think about it.
Yeah. Why do you lie? Small lies. They're still lies. What is it? What happened in the past? So things like that, right?
I got one last thing.
Make a huge difference.
In my friend group outside of church, none of them are married, right? None of them are married. And one of the things that I said was that once I get married, some of their parents are divorced. And they don't believe in marriage as a result, because they're like, man, my parents were married for so many years and then they got divorced and I don't know what. And it's sad that that they're experiencing that. So now that they see me, that I got married, they a lot of them questioned it, like, are you sure? Like, how do you know? And I had to talk with them. But one of the things that I told myself first was, I'm getting married, and whoever doesn't believe in it, whoever wants to walk out as a result because I got married, that's how I know in reality who is a true friend, who actually is going to be there, whether I'm single or not. Like, that's how I know. So when I got married, I told them, and I was expecting a few of them to be like, now, your life is over, you're controlled, or, now you won't be able to play with us or hang out with us or anything like that. But on the other hand, a lot of them were like, you know what, that's cool, congratulations, and we're happy for you. And now whenever we invite you to cook out, bring her over. We want to meet her. We want her to spend time with us. And at the same time, my wife, her friends, she said, if any of them is against the relationship, she says she's automatically going to drop them, because she's like, because it's us. They're only around us, and that's it. But we have to focus on us. So whenever any of them have had an issue with us being married or anything like that, we just have to cut them off.
Get the sisters.
A lot of people have a problem with this because a lot of people are influenced by their friends. So they get married and now they're telling, oh, how do you know he's loyal? How do you know he's this? How do you know he's doing this? Or on the other hand, oh, how do you know that she's not cheating on you? You know her sister's like this. You know her mom was like this. Do you know what happened in her past? You know what happened with her family? Like you got to know how to cut these people out because they're not going to help
sure.
you.
PSA. You
Yeah.
can get married young. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with
Nothing to
it.
be afraid of.
Right. Like
I think that's the culture today where it's like, what? People are engaged for like 8 years and they don't get married
right.
because they don't want to commit or
Bruh.
whatever.
They end up building families and never get married.
Like
I'm
that's
just like-
that's like
It's the
that
same
sucks.
thing, bro.
That sucks.
What the-
And
Just be a man and marry her.
just marry her. I think that's like the best way for you to show you that you really down to life.
The commitment.
Just
Yeah.
marrying her.
No, but that's
No.
that's huge though because part of it too is before you get married you have your inner circle, right, and you talk to them and whatnot. But once you're married, you can't be talking about your marriage to other people
Exactly.
Mhm.
unless like you're seeking counseling and you got a specific person that you're
Yeah.
filtering things through. But some of your relationships don't last because you tell the wrong people the wrong things and you get the wrong advice and that can be huge, man.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that my last one would probably be, I don't know if we're gonna mention anything spicy, but my last one would probably be watch who you get advice from, because I've seen some really stupid advice, man.
For real.
Especially like on the internet, it's so bad.
Garbage.
Watch out,
Stupid.
like videos, but I've seen like comments were like, oh, you gotta just pair yourself right. I would never be with anybody who didn't like anime. And I'm like, are you 14, bro? Who's giving advice on these comments, right? There's a ton of videos of like, especially these like alpha male or red pill guys who give horrible advice. If you're a Christian and you're looking for a Christian woman and you make sure you're equally yoked, you don't gotta worry about all this stuff. Like he was saying, like, oh, do you know this? Do you know that? All that negative stuff, man. If you know her, if you've been together for a sufficient amount of time, I mean, there's nothing wrong. And then it's not going to be easy, but there's nothing wrong with getting married young, making the commitment, putting in the work, right? I was listening to a song, and it said, falling in love is easy, but building it takes patience. Right? So, but that was an Andy Mineo song, so.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
So I don't know, like watch who you get advice from. People can really plant like really bad seeds in your mind and in your heart, and really pitch you against each other. And you got to be careful, like really be careful what you're listening to, what you're accepting as advice. Go to someone who's actually married, please. Don't go to somebody who's been divorced 4 times or
For real.
like, bro, I'm sorry, Steve Harvey needs to stop giving marriage advice. He needs to stop giving marriage advice because he has 3 failed marriages or something like that. I don't know. He needs to stop. Okay, be careful who you're listening to. Right, get a mentor. Get some older people in your life who know what they're doing. If your parents are still married, it's not the same, obviously, but they have valuable advice and stuff. So
Yeah. As long as your relationship with your parents is healthy,
yeah.
I would say that's an option, but sometimes it's not. So, yeah. No, that's pretty good, bro. I mean, man, the headaches that you can save yourself by just keeping your mouth shut.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't got anything else. I don't know if you got anything else. I mean, I can sit here and say a bunch of things, but
All I'll say is that my conclusion is that the first year is rough. That's it.
yeah,
It's hard, but it's worth it.
It's
I'm almost
hard.
there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
And marriage,
Almost.
to be honest, is one of the most difficult things that you're gonna face, because, like, I said it as a joke, like you'll never get to know her, but it's true because we change. We are constantly changing based on the experience of life that we get. We're constantly changing. Like, I've gotten to know myself in different stages of life, and I've been noticing, like, hey man, like I've been changing, and I've been like small things here and there, and your wife or your husband should be changing for the better, hopefully, right? But I'm still surprised by some of the stuff that I learned from my wife. I'm still surprised by some of the stuff that the reactions that I get as a person in certain situations. So I'm still learning. She's still learning. You always have to keep that going, right? And to my boys out there, man, how you gonna be 5 years deep into marriage and not take your wife on a date from, at least from time to time? Like, you guys,
Yeah, at least some pupusas, man.
You got
At least some nuggets
at
on
least-
Friday
at least
night,
some
man.
fun,
You know.
yeah. But
No, bro.
not for sure, bro.
Take it
But
somewhere.
I would say,
I don't
like you were saying, make sure you draw that line. You are one with your wife or with your husband, so you have extended family. Now you are your own family. Make sure you grab that. I would say number 2 for sure is come with an attitude to serve and not to be served. That's gonna put you,
Sacrifice.
that's gonna put you in such a great position, fam. I ain't even going front. It's gonna put you in a great position.
We need an episode with the wives.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
need-
say it'd
yeah.
be good to get the girls on,
Yeah.
see what they
Bring
would
their
say.
perspective. Yeah.
I gotta get used to dirty clothes on the floor.
Bro.
Something like that.
Like,
What was the third one? Cheese.
Uh,
Be careful who you talk to, and make sure you get the right advice from the right person. Talk to your wife, talk to your husband about the traumas or the situations you've been in the past to make sure they're still not affecting them. Work through them. And yeah, man, we are a mess in progress. I mean, a work in progress.
Yeah. A mess in progress. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect, right? So
Nope.
we go through different stages of life, and just know that if you put God first and you submit to Him, to His will, you'll make the right choices. Put the
Mhm.
kingdom of God first, and everything else will be added.
yes, sir.
First year of marriage, if you're gonna get married, or if you're about to get married, if you're not married, then do something with your life. Not playing.
Get ready.
Nah, if you're not married, just take it slow, man.
Yeah,
take it easy. It's not a rush.
Not
like-
everybody's even meant to get married.
Yeah.
Some people are just meant to be single.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. And get your priorities straight, work on yourself, and date yourself before you date anybody else, to make sure you know yourself. But if you're about to get married, or you're in that 1 year, hang on, man. Things do get better if you put God first, and if you at least try to attempt the 3 things that we mentioned here. I would think that it would genuinely help a lot, and it will go a long way. But
Yep.
it's been real, man.
Thank you for watching.
See
Come
you
back
guys.
again next time. Let us know what your thoughts are. Recommendations. Hit like. Subscribe.
Donate.
We do have a Patreon, FYI.
Donate.
Donate, yeah, for real.
Give
When
us
are we
money.
gonna
We're
get-
broke.
Yo.
We need a new mixer.
We need better lights.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but these two are dimming because we don't have batteries to replace it with.
Sorry. That's how humble we are, but we make it work. Make it work.
Hey, yo.
We believe that out of these rubbles, God's gonna give us some gold. We believe it.
Amen. Amen. We're not here for the money. We're here for the souls that
The
will hear
souls.
this.
That's the goal.
Hopefully.
The souls.
But yeah, man. Anyways, guys, stay fresh out there. Stay fresh out there. Wait, what? Stay blessed out there, and stay strong out there. Continue doing your thing. Put God first. And yeah, man. I'm out.
And let's make America great again.
Hey yo. We about to
Alright.
start taking live calls. We about to do a live, and we about to pull a Steve Harvey.
We about to do a Spanish.
Just break up with
Spanish
him.
episode.
Just break up with her.
No, don't.
The first question is, does he believe in God? Oh no. All right. Yeah, we done. Yeah.
All right. I want to go home.
All right, guys.
See
Pray for
ya.
Joey.
Pray for Joy.
Pray for me. I'm gonna eat
He's
dinner.
thinking about the consequences of this video.
Look, guys. Last thing. If your wife's cooking ain't good, just say it's good, bro.
Hey yo.
Just saying.
It's always good.
It's always good.
I'll go get the shovel.
You
guys go get the
don't dig, don't dig your own grave, guys.
I'll go
It's
get
like,
the
nah, I
shovel.
love my wife's cooking.
It's okay. It's been nice having you, Joey.
Hey yo. All right, yo.
Peace.
Peace.
See ya.